and I cut it, and it was delicious. All I did is I put clean wrap around it on Sunday, and I put it away. I didn't freeze it. And it's actually fresher than the
when you make the middle,
And it's so easy.
You made it long time ago.
Did you make this in white bread as well?
Yeah, I made white bread.
It's so easy to do. And you know what, if you want to do it, you put it in the fridge. If you make 2 or 3, that's perfect. You frost it there. Absolutely perfect. Now I'm really going to make some more. This weekend, I'm going to make another 2. And
it's easy, it's so easy.
Oh, man, it's lovely. If I bake more, I'll bring you guys some.
Wat heb je nu gezegd dat je het nog gestuurd?
Maar is nog vanaf gestuurd, die is niet nou.
Het probleem is.
Ik weet niet het blind. Zeg op.
Ja, hij loopt.
Look, we shall get please. Sound check. Thanks, brother.
Always loving local music on Informanté Radio, man. DJ K-Boss and Mr. Script with Kondoroka. Good morning, welcome to the show, Moro Maria. Maria's still trying to you know, chuck down her breakfast.
Yeah.
Quick.
I thought I had time. Good morning.
We are live, 19 minutes past 8 right now. Good morning, guys. Welcome to the morning mix. You can catch it, of course, live on the Informanté Facebook page right now. Please share the stream and join the conversation. So, Amelia, you were not here yesterday, right? So we had sort of discussed-ish the extension to the lockdown, the extra 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Since we did not get a chance to get your opinion on this particular issue, let me just ask you. So what's your take
On what?
on the extra 2 weeks of lockdown?
Like, what's my take? Like, as in, do I think it was necessary?
Yeah, I don't know. One way or the other. Everybody has some sort of opinion. I'm just wondering what's yours.
Yeah, it's a good call. Obviously, we know that the self-imposed quarantine didn't work out in some cases because we had 2 patients that were still out in public when they shouldn't have been. So of course, it's the safer call. Obviously, a lot of us were hoping to get back to business as usual, but that would have been putting the economy before people's well-being, and that isn't right. Yeah. I mean, we're still working, right?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? We're still working.
We're still here, still doing what we need to do.
What is Neville's feeling? I'm curious.
You know, it was sort of, I guess most of us had sort of resigned to the fact that it's probably going to get extended, the lockdown, so it was not one of those things that we didn't see coming. One way or the other, of course, Neville's, he initially wanted us to start trading at the very least, just keep the borders closed and not remain in lockdown. But I see for at least the next 2 weeks, we're going to ramp it up a little bit because I'm seeing a lot more police presence on the streets. I'm seeing checkpoints and stuff like that. Even this morning, geez, I almost forgot. Like my taxi driver made a U-turn.
You were scared?
Yeah, as soon as he saw them, like, oh, yeah. No, boss, I have a ticket. I'm like, no, they're not looking for tickets. Just I was like, so we had to drive like all the way around the roadblock. But you know, you're not going to be able to avoid them the whole day because I'm sure they're going to put them up in different places.
Yeah, and you see now we know it's a nationwide lockdown.
Yeah.
The police did say, and we did publish a story on our Informanté page, where the police said that they're going to ramp up, the scale up rather the operations because they realized that there just are people that are not adhering. We saw a video somewhere in Pobili somewhere? No.
On the Korean,
of joggers and boot campers, you know, clearly came together, no social distancing. I'm talking about in excess of 100 people. It was just crazy.
Irresponsible.
It was, and you could see them working out without a care in the world. But it's videos like that obviously have the police concerned and have us concerned because it means it kind of feels like, doesn't it feel like that one kid in class that's not listening and we're all being punished. you know those kids.
Yeah, every what do they call it? A blanket punishment for everybody.
Blanket punishment. So this is what it feels like. But yes, until we start abiding by the rules, doing what is necessary, we're probably we're gonna stay here.
This is necessary. Like guys, okay, I can see a bunch of you commenting with regards to the sound. See our technical guys are moving up and down, so they're busy fixing it or busy working on it. So,
but it's I don't know. The sound thing. I think we need to. Yesterday I tuned in briefly to you and Nemo. The sound was excellent on my end, but I still had people complain. Like I saw people commenting and complaining
about the sound.
Yeah.
I know sometimes it is not the setup here. Sometimes it is the setting or whatever it is with your phone or whatever device you're using to type. So a network issue which is entirely out of our hands. But the show must go on, like they say. So yeah, while the guys are trying to fix that, there was an interesting story. It's on the front page of the Namibian Sun this morning as well. About the contacts of some corona patients being lost. You know, the contact tracing that the ministry does to try and see who could be at possible risk or who came in contact with infected people or somebody who's possibly infected. And now those contacts have been lost. So
lost in what sense?
Lost. Should I read the story too?
Well, read the intro. How about that?
Okay. Let's see, where are my goggles? Government has dropped a bombshell by conceding its inability to trace people who had come in contact with infected patients. Government yesterday confirmed it is in the dark regarding the whereabouts of people, potentially in their hundreds, who had come into contact with 3 patients who had tested positive for the coronavirus.
Okay, I don't want to contradict. I don't want to contradict a report, but I tuned in, and what I understood the health minister said is it was particularly with the guy that got into a taxi he had tested positive, and he wanted to go to the isolation center, the Robert Mugabe isolation clinic, and so left his house, got into a taxi, and got there, and said between obviously getting in a taxi to getting to the Robert Mugabe, they're not aware. They obviously can't trace it's a taxi. To the taxi. So
who was in the cab and so on.
Who was in the cab and who. So, I mean, with cabs now not being so full, let's give it like worst case scenario: 3 people, driver and 2 pays. So that would be 3 people. And that's also just being next to them doesn't mean they're gonna get it. Just by the way. That's
just what I was about to say. And I mean, if somebody has tested positive for the virus, just being around them doesn't mean they're going to infect you.
Yes. They would have had to transfer.
Yes, sneezing, coughing.
Yes, and that transfer would have gotten on
somebody's face. Or on your hands, which you then put on your face. So
it's a likelihood, but it's also a very low probability, just because people aren't, like I say, stacking up their taxes. And then obviously it's not a long trip. It's literally from somewhere in Katutura,
somewhere
wherever, to the clinic. So those are the ones that I think that's for the one patient. The second patient is a doctor. He had gone back to work while his results were pending, which you also shouldn't, because if you take a test, you're supposed to stay at home until your results are revealed. But he went back to work. But I understand they took the nurses or the people he came into contact with were traced, and those people were in self-isolation. And then I think the third one would have been the nurses or the medical practitioners that came into contact with, I think, the German during treatment. So they're also under quarantine. Not so much that they think they're infected, but they were treating him. So it's also just for safety to make sure. So they're being kept at, I think, Central Hospital. They're not allowed to go home for at least 14 days. So I don't know if that's in the hundreds necessarily.
Something about a group of people who came in through Welfish Bay
or the South African. I think it was the South African, right? I think the minister also mentioned something about that, the South Africans. But yeah, but I don't know.
A while ago.
A while ago.
Yeah.
And I think some of these things are also just being sort of conflated together because as people are also struggling to put news together, there's nothing else happening but the coronavirus at the moment.
Are you taking a swipe at the media?
Yes. I mean, here we are trying to suck coronavirus out of our thumbs every morning.
We would love to move on to other topics.
We would really love to, yeah. Coronavirus. One of the other things that, of course, a lot of people are starting to look at is potential job losses. Especially with the extension. Some of the businesses were already close to going under with just the 2 weeks. Of course, is going to put an even bigger strain on some of these businesses.
Yeah, I mean, the finance minister the last time said like they're predicting their estimation is 1.7 to 2 billion every week
in revenue loss.
In revenue every week.
Yeah.
So this is we're losing at least 2 billion a week. That's
a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah,
it's a lot of money. But it is a very tough time, and I think you and I had this conversation 2 days ago briefly about the tourism sector. Well, why don't you guys have money on the side to sustain jobs? Why has the tourism sector taken such a hard hit? But you need to remember that with tourism, it's a very complex sector because there's high season and low season. I think this would have been a low season.
Yeah, this is generally low season.
Yeah, this
for
is
tourism,
low season for tourism. So your best month. This is the time where rooms are empty, where you really look at your price structure, just kind of so you can make your packages attractive, and where you ultimately try and, because tourists are not really coming in during low season, so you try and kind of cater to the locals and encourage them to do travels. So you already have that. It's already low season. You're already not making money. But now, hotels are completely closed. It's not like they are partly open.
Yeah.
So absolutely no business, no income coming in, but you still have your costs.
Yeah.
Your salaries, your electricity, your
you are not operating.
Even if you're not operating, exactly. You still have a garden that you need to water and whatever. So the water bills are still going up. But you have zero income coming in. And I think I think sometimes, based on some of the comments I heard, I think we're very insensitive to that sector because for them, they realize that, you see, for us it could be, and we could be back at work on the 5th of May. But with hotel accommodations, or the hospitality industry, even if they're open, they know they're not really going to get clients for at least a good 6-7 months until, really the world goes back to business as usual.
Until we stop, until we are not afraid of the coronavirus anymore, because it's still rampant in some other countries. Some of the countries where the tourists come from are in lockdown.
Yeah, and not even that. It's like even if we found a vaccine today, and we can breathe a little easier, people are not going to immediately start traveling. People have to recover financially.
Yes.
A lot of them had losses, lives included. It's people are going to be putting overtime at school, at work, to kind of just bring business back. So it's going to be a long time before the luxuries, which is travel is a luxury now. People can kind of take those luxury what do you call them? Luxury travels or
holidays, vacations.
Yeah, vacations. So it's gonna be a while. So the tourism sector is not gonna snap back.
It's true. We're all gonna have to prioritize one way or the other, whether you lose your job or not. The circumstances around you are gonna change. They are already changing. Most things have already changed. So we're gonna have to adapt. Even if you had planned to travel, I'm sure you're gonna want to put it off or even cancel and try and do something else at a different time. So yeah, it's an interesting one. This is interesting because now I'm having some people are saying the sound is fine. Some people are saying the sound is not fine. From where I am in the studio, the sound is perfect.
The connection is very bad this morning at work.
Oh, okay. So there is probably an issue with the network connectivity, so you might be experiencing some of those problems, and for that, I will apologize on behalf of our network providers.
Askis.
Askisa. Oh, okay. I'm looking for something here. There was something I wanted to talk to you. Oh yes, the social grant. That's what I wanted to talk to you about this morning.
Yes, let's talk about the social grant.
Yes. The program was rolled out. People are supposed to have been. Have you received your 750? Oh, you didn't
Where
apply.
will I qualify?
You didn't even apply.
I wouldn't qualify.
Yeah.
And also, why would I? Come on, this is really not for me.
Of
I
course.
think if you have your social security number, you're not getting that.
If you have a social security number. So am I going to get from social security then?
No, it's how they're tracing.
It's interesting, but like they're saying they turned down over 100 and something thousand, I think 180 something thousand applications that they turned down, which means there is a real influx of applications at the moment.
Yes.
Interesting.
The last time I think they signed over 350 in excess of, and obviously rejected over 100,000. But 100,000, you have to remember, the rejection includes people using IDs of dead people.
Yes.
People
I heard
using.
that. But that is fraud.
It is fraud. Look, people always find opportunities in this, and it's very disappointing because this is money that actually has to go to people that need it.
Exactly.
But you're trying to be fraudulent. Like you could have already qualified, but you're trying to get another payment. You know, you want to get double the amount, and I'm sure there's some that kind of filtered through, but it's ridiculous. And I think this is the part about Namibians that I hate, the opportunists. You know. The thieving, the fraudulent, the fraudsters.
Yeah.
This is you guys make this country unpleasant, I must say.
Are you like seriously? You're gonna risk going to jail over an extra $750?
Yeah. It's crazy. Anyway, so some of these were IDs of dead people. Some people were these were IDs that were already given, so they would try, let's say MTC. Because there's two numbers. One is connected to MTC and one is connected to telecom. So they would try, let's say, on MTC, give their ID number and then try the other number
on telecom as well.
Not realizing that it's an integrated system.
Yes.
So once you're on, you know. And then there were those that obviously have jobs, so they have social security numbers. They try to also try and get money. They didn't qualify. Some people were over 60. Some people were under the required age. Some people were students that were on the NASFAF.
They're getting money from NASFAF.
They're already getting money from NASFAF. So their names on the NASFAF beneficiary list, but they were also trying to get that 750. When it was cleared, we were told that students, forget it. You don't qualify. So there's a lot of reasons, but to reject 100,000, that's an extravagant number. That means they were really chance takers.
And but like I was saying, everybody has taken I can understand how the majority of people would think, but I also need, or not need necessarily, but a lot of people want. Yes.
I want a 750 as well.
Of course, I also want a 750, but I understand
could do with that?
There are people who actually really do need that money.
Yeah.
And who are not going to be able to get by one way or the other without it. Butato is saying, I've been retrenched from Scorpion zinc mine and I still didn't qualify.
What happened? Give us some information there, please.
Maybe give us a bit more details. And didn't you get a lekker retrenchment package?
I'm curious to see what the reason was.
Give us a bit more details.
Yeah, I did hear of people that genuinely, for example, some people, there was a time, I think, when businesses were encouraged to register social securities for themselves. So a lot of these SMEs and street vendors, they registered on social security.
Yeah.
But obviously they're affected because they're not making money now. But now when they try to get the money, they're told, no, but you have a social security number. It's like, but I opened that for the business that...
Yeah. Because it was one of the requirements to open the business.
Yes,
so
it was a requirement for the business. But I'm not making money, and obviously the government is not looking at those people.
I was checking even in the news. I think the whole rollout is going to be a bit fractured. I mean, you need to understand, right? This is something sort of extraordinary. They had to sort of prop it up in 2 weeks, about a week and a half, 2 weeks. Get it ready, get the money to the people.
It was like a week actually.
Yeah, so there are going to be some flaws in the system. That is a given, because even with the food packages that they're handing out, I saw lines of people and a lot of argument about confusion. People don't really understand. Who's on the list, who should get, who qualifies, who doesn't, what is the criteria and stuff like that.
And there's been chaos with those food distribution, and we saw the chaos somewhere in Windhoek, informal settlement. And then we obviously saw the also chaos in Omaruru, but I'm sure there are other towns that had similar experiences. It's just a mess. It's just a mess.
It's trial and error at the moment. Let me read a few comments. Pau Denny, the corona will make forex traders rich. All right, I managed to make 50K from 1K within a week, but on the other side, we ain't enjoying our money because of lockdown.
Oh, Tarat, see? What much did he make?
Made 50,000 from 1,000.
Wow, can we be friends?
Yeah. Everything here is fine, Mr. Nawanes. I see you are. I'm getting so many instructions. It's kind of confusing. But
I just went up crazy.
A lot, or a little?
A lot. Like you just screamed in my ear.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Kaloli Shumba saying Scorpion Zinc closed down. This is very sad. Wait, did the mine close?
Yeah, there's some mines that closed, yeah.
Like closed as in closed for the lockdown or closed?
No, closed.
For good. Then there's no more zinc in the ground to mine on. Of that's not even reality. Because then somebody else can come by. We can sell it to another foreigner. Like that's how we does most in this Namibia. Right. Moving back up, Fremont, watching. Good morning, Maria. Share your breakfast.
Oh yeah, that was bread we made ourselves.
And Dishkula. Good morning, Otashende. Are you guys? No. Where are we? Where? Good morning. Good morning. Sound. Nice morning. Sell us deep. You should come. You should send us one of your mixes to play here in the studio. Sound is sharp now. That's much better. Thanks, guys. I see you guys just want to talk about the sound this morning. You guys have really nothing else to add to the conversation for today.
I mean,
people menses move for the coronavirus issues. So, what are you gonna do with your 2 extra weeks? Since you're given 2 extra weeks, it's like 5.
A little over 2 weeks, actually.
Yeah. No, it's just 14 days, man.
No, it was 18.
Like, are they 18 from the time they announced, or 18?
No, 18 from the 17th. The lockdown was supposed to end on Friday.
Yeah, Saturday morning we were supposed to be back in business.
Yeah. So if you count 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27,
oh
28,
my
29,
God.
30, 31, 1, 2, 3. It's basically.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, I know a lot of you also want to know the whole issue around the rent.
Yeah, that's the elephant in the room they just don't want to address.
Nobody wants to address.
I mean,
I guess that is something that's going to have to start with the banks.
I mean, Bank of Namibia yesterday announced slashing of the repo rate. So let me just confirm by how many. So the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Namibia cut the repo rate by 100 basis points to 4.25%. The decision was taken to cushion the anticipated impact of the COVID-19 support and support domestic economic activity. So yes, they're cutting the repo rate to help out, but it's not enough.
Yeah, and that means there's going to be more money available in circulation in the economy. But where is the money going? Is it going to the people who need it or not?
No, I mean also the slashing of the repo rate. Has a trickle-down effect. Like especially if you have a mortgage that you're paying off.
Yeah.
Because the interest rate is lower, that means what you're paying to the bank
becomes less. Yeah.
So me, for example, that was paying 8,000, just an example, per month, so that the landlord can take that money and, let's say, pay back his loan. He's no longer paying 8,000. Well, it's usually not same price, the rental price,
it's
and
hypothetical.
Yes, hypothetical. Let's assume that your rent was going to the mortgage. He say because of the slashing of the repo rate, which has happened now twice in a month. He's now say paying 6,500. You're still paying your 8,000. So.
But then, like, he's under no obligation to give you to tell you, okay, no, you know what, you can pay, let's say, just 6,000 this month.
Yes, but I'm just saying, like, this is a give and take situation.
Yeah.
And knowing that we're all struggling, you see, tenants, if let's say your rent is 8,000 and you only have 6,500 in your account because the month was bad. People don't negotiate with their landlord like, let me just pay this 6,500. I'll try and top up next month, right? And then they rather just not pay at all and see how they're going to make it up.
Yeah.
So there's also like potential a loss of income for the landlord.
Yeah.
It would be better to negotiate and to work out something, because even if you kick that tenant out, it's going to be very difficult to get a tenant that's just paying because everybody is struggling. So it should be a give and take situation.
Yeah.
I hope like landlords are not greedy enough to increase after your annual rent lapses and you need to sign a new contract.
Yeah.
You shouldn't actually be paying an increase on that just because they are paying less as well. But yeah, I have a conversation.
Yeah, but the conversation should be like, for instance, I like all I wanted was like a $1,500 discount on my rent, right? So I asked my landlord to give me like 2,500, and then he was like, no, that's too much. I'll only give you 1,500.
Well, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, but the 1,500 is actually what I wanted. So
yeah.
I just shot a bit over the mark so we can have some room to negotiate. But it's a conversation you're going to have with your landlord. Because remember, until the banks tell the owners of these complexes and all these apartments and so on that, okay, you know what, we're going to give you a mortgage holiday for a month or 2 months or whatever.
3 months would be nice.
Yeah, but then, unless they get that from the banks, it also becomes a bit difficult for him to just say, you know what, you don't have to pay rent.
Yeah, no landlord is going to say that. Let's just be clear. They still have those bills. And you also need to remember that they're also going through this.
Yes, exactly.
So they also don't have spare money to kind of pay that mortgage. But like I said, it would be nice if the banks came and said, you know what, 3-month holiday, then that will, whatever money, for example, you are paying towards rent, because we know we're a nation of renters. Whatever money you had to pay to the rent, you could use to feed your family.
Yeah, to buy some food.
And so forth. That would really, really, really help. And I think, I know it's like everybody's delaying, but eventually it's going to come to that, because I doubt if you don't pay your rent, your landlord is definitely not paying that mortgage.
Yeah, because he's also not going to have any extra
he just
money
has
lying
no
around
money,
somewhere.
to pay for you. So, and if he's not paying, and I'm sure there's a lot of homeowners that are not paying their mortgage. At some point, the bank is going to realize this and say, look, we can't go around repossessing everybody's house.
Exactly, yeah.
So let's find a solution.
Let's find a solution that works for everybody, that doesn't wreck the economy.
Yes.
All right, Avondre Karhumba, all right, I'm a guide at Kondwana and in lockdown in Windhoek. So low season ends in April and high season starts around June. So I believe that the pandemic will affect us still next year around June, July. And also, if you do give packages to locals, they are not interested in traveling. And if they do, they don't do activities such as game drives. So in other words, we are facing tough times as guides and tourism as a whole. Look, locals are just as interested in some of the activities that you guys offer as the tourists. But like,
which is generally not affordable.
Yeah, we just, like, I don't have the money to go drive around and try and find a giraffe or a rhino or whatever.
In fact, it's times like this that I wish I had like a lot of money in my savings.
Yeah.
account that I don't have to use for other things.
Pocket money.
Because I know prices are gonna go down dramatically, and I love traveling, and I would love to see more of my country. And I think this would have been a great opportunity for me to kind of explore and just go to those lodges that are cutting prices by 80% or whatever, just to kind of stay afloat. Get an opportunity to see those places. But my gosh, whatever money I'm saving, I have to use for it, because I also have no extra income coming in.
Exactly.
So it's a tough one.
And Martin is saying, we are interested in traveling. The problem is you guys are expensive.
That's all.
Yes, you guys, we understand you're trying to hunt down the euros. We the euros and the dollars and the pounds, and we are working with Namibian dollars. So, there's a bit of a difference there. And my thing is, with like the prediction of over 90,000 job losses, right? I mean, some of these people are going to be retrenched, which means initially there's going to be a flood of money available. I mean, you get your retrenchment package, you're sitting with, let's say, 100,000. So initially there's going to be a little bit of a spike, and prices are probably going to go up because there's a little bit of money in the economy, and the supply is not what it used to be. And then eventually, maybe towards the end of the year, things are going to start coming down again. That's just my prediction.
I don't see a spike anywhere, but it's all downhill from here.
If 90,000 people are getting like, let's say in excess of 100,000, I don't know what retrenchment packages look like.
Retrenchment packages look differently for every sector and for every company. It's about negotiating. It's about how long you are working there. It's generally not the amount you anticipated. Some companies, if they declare bankruptcy, even paying you that retrenchment package, you can forget it. So it's and job losses, to get another job, there would have to be job opportunities. But with companies kind of just trying to stay afloat with the staff they have, I think new recruits are going to be completely frozen in almost all the sectors, and people are just going to work with. I'm talking about those that are able to keep the staff complement. They're not going to bring in new people yet. So, it's a tough one.
Gelavanis Haufiku. Morning, Maria. Did you wish the boss a happy birthday?
Whose birthday is it?
Kiver.
Oh, Askis. Happy birthday, boss.
Askis. Makwa van Makwa, but guys, the volume is low, man. Can't hear properly. Then lift the volume up on your thing. The volume is high here.
See when maybe put on earphones. That will help.
Yeah, when I put it up a little bit, did you see how Maria was like, "Oh, damn, you're screaming in my ears."
Yes.
Yeah, the volume is fine here. Ms. BVB also joining the live stream this morning.
Who?
Bronwyn Besson.
Alrighty.
Bronwyn Valerie Besson. She likes saying her full name most. There was a comment here that I did not read. Okay, it's gone. Maybe I'll find it a bit later on. So yeah, you guys tell us what you think, right? I don't think the rent issue is a conversation that we can have until the powers that be, and by the powers that be, I mean the banks, because ultimately, if the mortgages needs to get paid, then rent also will have to get paid. And there are some landlords, I understand, that sort of have paid off their properties, the properties that they're renting out. So the money that comes in is just profit. But then I guess it comes down once again to you having a conversation with the person you're renting from.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough. Because some even usually pay for the water. So your landlord would not go pay for your water if you're not paying.
If you're not paying rent, yeah.
Otherwise it's just paying for a family that's not his to have some.
Just stay there, have water,
and everything. Now he's taking care of you.
Yeah, where does it stop? Because then, somebody else will be like, the municipality must also excuse our water bills this month. And our electricity must become this and that and this and that. I mean, at some point, we cannot make everything completely free for the next 3 months. We can have to find workable solutions. It's crazy.
it's just like, when does it end? Don't you feel that? It just feels like it's never ending.
It's gonna look. It's an extraordinary situation. Like I just can't get over it, because this is something that probably we would never have anticipated, even if we're doing what do they call it, models or whatever, of ways in which our economy could get hit by maybe wars or other conflicts outside of Namibia or inside of Namibia. Something like this, where basically the economy has to come to a standstill. Basically come to a standstill. It's not something that anyone could have anticipated. And this is, it hits everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody, every sector, from even the security guards are getting hit. And you would think, okay, no, this guy, even us, the media houses, we're also going to get hit.
Everybody's.
Yeah.
I not to cause anybody panic, but you should panic. Like, doesn't matter what you do or how effective or efficient you are at your job. Everybody should be concerned whether they're still going to have a job.
Yeah.
After this.
Definitely.
And you won't get fired because, or retrenched because companies don't need you or want you. It's not going to be money for your salary.
If we can't afford you, it's Masua.
Yeah. It's not so.
Colleen Oppel van Beek, I made use of that discounted Gondwana. Gondwana has discounts.
Yeah, Gondwana is really good.
In the box. I don't travel. Avondre saying, can we talk about the roadblocks that are set up in parts of Windhoek? Is it necessary?
Yes, because you guys are not abiding to the safety measure.
No, but if you are going to do something essential for real, right? Like she's arguing here, then there should be no problem going through the roadblock and telling them, no, this and that and this and that.
Yeah.
That's why I need to travel.
Yeah. But if you're just going to visit your neighbor because you miss them, I might actually go visit my cousin today, guys. I need to see people.
Stay at home.
No, I'm just kidding. But, if you run into the shop to buy, like what, icing sugar, that's not, because you want to bake.
Yeah, no, I mean, we're making bread. Is that essential?
Icing sugar should not be essential.
But it's like food stuff. It's like
it's food stuff, but I think it's also here we're not so strict. I know, for example, in South Africa, they just certain things they just are not selling.
They're not even selling cigarettes in South Africa.
Yeah, they're not selling cigarettes. They're not selling this foam baths and these beauty products. They're not selling. Our Clicks is cool. The only thing they really cut off is like the actually I said these beauty products like the hair blower, the hair dryer, and those. That's the stuff they cut up. But otherwise, I bought a baking measuring weight thing yesterday in Clicks.
No, even
and that's not an issue.
Never was also talking about Game, who basically you can shop in the electronic. It's just the clothing section, I think, that is cordoned off, but electronics everywhere else, furniture. You can still buy.
If you wanna even do gardening now, you can go buy all those gardening appliances. They're not essentials if we're being honest, but people are trying to keep busy at home, trying to do things. We definitely, and I keep saying it, we do need to check our consumer behavior and spending. That's very essential. It's not business as usual. The money usually spent on frivolous things, you need to be cutting back. And I'm talking to myself as well, because for me it's getting into that habit as well.
I think the fact that we don't have a crisis on our hands at the moment was making people. So I saw a video of what's this shipping company in the States? Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon, yes. Of Amazon workers who were complaining. It's like, guys, like I risked my life this morning, right? To come to work. I'm risking my life standing here. So I can pack freaking sex toys for you guys. Not essential stuff. Really, who's ordering this stuff? Why do I have to come to work to come do this? If people are ordering stuff that they really need, it's understandable. Yeah. Even for that person who's sitting there. Imagine somebody who's paranoid that they had to come to work, and then you walk up to the till and you want to buy
dildo.
Exactly.
Look, that's an essential.
How is that an essential product? Some guys in rehab instead of lockdown. With no alcohol. Speaking of Marius, Martin is saying it's not gonna end soon. They must just open the liquor stores for certain few hours. Then we could, there's no way you can open the liquor store for a few hours without causing complete
I was just gonna say,
chaos.
the panic buyers are gonna fill up those liquor store.
Yeah.
It will be a whole catastrophe happening in there.
Yeah.
The shelves will be completely empty.
Yeah.
They're going to be fighting over iemand se trolley is te vol is onregverdig.
Yeah.
Sorry for my Afrikaans. But it's not. I know I saw some Twitter suggestions. Yeah, just open the bottle shop just for a few hours. Let us know. But you're gonna go into panic.
If all of you are on social media crying about alcohol, how is a few hours gonna work at bottle stores? Like, how many bottle stores are there?
Imagine if they have to queue.
Yeah.
I can just see that Super Spa bottle store, the queue from there all the way going down into the parking, all the way to the back.
You're like, wow,
the longest
all
queue.
the menu comes like, oh, alcohol.
You know?
But it does get a little bit annoying, guys. I mean, there are people who are sitting and really stressing about the overall effects on the economy, the job losses, how to keep some companies from going under, how to keep some families from starving and from losing the roofs over their heads. And we're worried about alcohol.
And we have been worried about alcohol. I think, isn't it a nice time to reflect?
Yeah.
I think we have a serious problem. No, somebody posts their liquor cabinet, oh, this is what I have. You should just see that people drooling. Like, yo. Connect guy bottle com. How much are you selling? How much are you even willing to spend an extra $200 or $300 to buy somebody's
just to get
bottle?
something to drink? That you're gonna drink for 4 hours tops, and then you are looking for another one again. Yesterday, Never was relaying a scenario of this guy. By the way, he just joined the live stream also. Mora Topi. He was talking about this guy in the Hobabas area who bought a beer for $80 and was $2,000. So that's 25 beers.
That's how desperate you are.
25 beers for $2,000, Maria.
Yeah, I got alcohol at home because I always have, not for myself, I always have alcohol for my guests and whatever. So I'm checking those bottles
I used to do that, and then I got advice that I have to wait for all my friends to get married first. Because whenever they come around us, they leave nothing standing. So it's no, wait for them to get married, to grow a bit more responsible, and then you can start collecting alcohol.
Yeah.
And I think that works. Tatio Carstens, guys, I have to go home to Windhoek tomorrow. I have a permit. Will these guys let me through at the roadblock? I'm a bit skeptical after the way that I treated a police meme yesterday. What did you do? What did you do?
And if you have a permit, why wouldn't they allow you?
A few hours every day, that's what I mean. A few hours every day, open the bottle stores.
It's still going to be panic buyers.
But is alcohol really that essential that it needs to be open at this point in time?
Yeah.
Here's my question. Can we talk about the 750? Roseanne Kluter, what about the 750 you want to talk about? We kind of chewed on it a bit earlier on, so
Let us know.
what is there really to talk about when it comes to the 750? The criteria are out there. Can we talk about the 750? Did people even get it? But do you know of anybody who?
I think some people have gotten it. The process, I think the payment process started on Monday already. So I think there are people that got it. But this is why I think during the press conference with the president, we had Tapandula. Tapandula said, I don't know if she directly texted the president or if it was in the DMs, I don't know. But he was looking at the comment and reading it. Tapandula complaining, I am unemployed, my parents are unemployed, I have not gotten my 750 and whatever. And and you know how the president is. He asked the finance minister to respond why Tapandula has not gotten the money. People have until end, I think April,
Mm.
to claim for this grant. So there's time. I think people that haven't gotten money yet can still.
But I think even the reporting is a bit confusing. I can't remember where I was watching the report, but I mean, if it's anything surrounding this stuff, especially when it comes to Namibia, it's probably NBC because that's the other source of news that when I'm at home. But I remember distinctly hearing somebody say 750 weekly. Maybe it was a slip of the tongue by the reporter.
Yeah, probably a slip of the tongue. I also saw even this account on Twitter called African Facts where they share facts from the world. And they obviously misreported and said that, Namibians are, by the way, or fun fact, Namibians, instead all Namibian citizens are receiving 750 per week. And that's not true.
That's not true.
First of all, not all Namibians are receiving qualified to receive 750, and it's definitely not weekly. They spoke about a once-off. If the extension of the lockdown continues for too long, government said they will relook at perhaps doing it for another month.
Doing it different,
But for now, it's a once-off for those that qualify.
Okay, cool drinks are finished and klar in the north. So you guys drink everything now. You no sugar alcohol, and we can't deliver. We can't deliver cool drinks, guys. Julle moet maar net water drink. It's a good thing there was a lot of rain. Mutati Augustins, julle twee lus ook wat. Cubase, I am in Gobabus. Wie is die ou wat R80 betaal het vir 'n black label? Hy het hom in Aminus gaan gekry, my broer. Imagine even had to drive out of Gobabus to Aminus om R80 bier te gaan koop. 2 kratte vir R2000 en 'n extra bier just for the road.
So rough.
It is insane. Okay, guys, I think
That's our time, right?
I think that's our time.
All right, thanks for tuning in.
Oh yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys, and enjoy the rest of the day. The weekend is almost here, and happy birthday, boss.
Happy birthday, boss. I'm gonna see you guys on Monday.
Yeah, you're only coming back on Monday, ne?
Just coming back on Monday.
Sometimes I envy you guys.
But you guys have
So
special guests on the line tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're talking to Mr. Frank Fredericks, or Frankie.
Frankie
we know him,
Fredericks.
yes.
Yeah.
I was doing a little bit of reading. He actually used to play soccer before he started doing athletics. Played for Black Africa.
I didn't know that.
We're going to talk to him tomorrow morning on the show, so make sure you tune in. And make sure you stay updated. Just keep checking Informanté's Facebook page. You can check out the website as well, informante.web.na. And of course, there you can stream the radio station live throughout the day. We're out of here.
Listen, we play the best of today's music.